Now, I've always been, and up until this point in this season, I've always been a firm Moyes supporter. We know what he's done in the past, but today I just sit back and I watch that and I think, what are we doing? Quite frankly, what are we doing? I've waited a couple of hours, I've cooled down a bit, I've watched some other fan reactions, and I'm here now for my reaction to West Ham United 1, Crystal Palace 2, as we lose a must not lose game at the London Stadium, as the fans voice their opinions when a specific substitution happens and when the full-time whistle rings. I'm here to round up all of my views for you in this video. Before we get into it, drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you're new to our channel. Sponsors SRM Carver and Son by clicking the link in the description down below. Where do I start? I think I'll start with the lineup. I'm going to do this bit nice and cool, and then I might get a little bit angry a little bit later on. But the lineup, I wouldn't have changed too much. Obviously, putting to the side the Moyes tendencies. Souček starting again is the main one. I don't think he could have changed too much more with it. I was happy to see Benrahma starting again for the time he had on the pitch in the end. And I wouldn't have changed too much more. I did think the Paqueta back was going to be a big boost, and we might have seen some more link up there, but how wrong was I in the end? And overall, I was content with the lineup. Of course, I would have rather seen Downs alongside Souček, but I think we've all just come to the conclusion under Moyes, and he's never going to drop Souček in the Premier League. I was actually astounded that Moyes did take him off in the end. He never does, and today he actually did, which surprised me. But yeah, I wouldn't have changed too much about that. And we did the same old thing as we started the game. We were at home. We needed to get on the front foot because we knew that they were a dangerous side with dangerous players. That front four at times ripped us to pieces today. And if they were a bit more clinical, they could have had at least 3 or 4 today, I think, because they had so many chances where they just didn't quite find the right man, didn't quite get it to the right place in the final third. So if they would have been a bit more clinical today, it would have been embarrassing because they had so many chances, so many opportunities where we left them with so much space out on the wings or in the middle. There was just gaps in between because the defence was just so deep, and the midfield, there was a big gap between there, and nothing seemed to be functioning and working right, which is a big issue there. And we started off really poorly, as we have done for the vast majority of our games in the Premier League so far this season. It was nothing new. I was frustrated, and then we score within the run of play, and I didn't particularly think it was deserved, but that's what Benrahma's going to bring to the table. I said to Anton on the watch along I did on the West Ham network that perhaps in this game we need a bit of magic, and that's exactly what we've got completely against the run of play. We won the ball back. I think Paqueta passed him. To be fair, one of the very few things I think Paqueta did well today was he found Benrahma perfectly, pierced a perfect pass through. He got past one player and he bended it into that top left-hand corner. That's what Benrahma can bring to this side, and that's why the fans got so aggravated when he got pulled off. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on, but yeah, it was brilliant. Benrahma, we thought, brilliant. Now we're going to kick on, hopefully get another goal before half time, and really look to go on and win this game. And we kind of just sat back a bit, did the typical West Ham, and just didn't really do much. And then to be fair, the goal was again completely along the run of play. I thought they were slowly getting into it a bit more, and they had a lot of chances towards the back end of that first half, and we were like, yeah, we need half time here. And it's no more than an individual error for me. I'm not a fan of passing out from the back unless you're a side like Man City with flamboyant, amazing, skillful defenders that can pass the ball around all day. I don't like passing it around from the back. It makes me nervous when we do, and that's a prime example of it today. Sometimes it's okay, but we haven't got the players there to be passing it around on the back. Passing it around the back, especially today where it was wet and it was slippy and the conditions weren't very good. Just get the ball up. Just thump it up there. If we don't win the header, try and win the second ball. I don't like passing it out from the back, and we conceded from it today. It was a really poor pass from Dawson, and it was a really poor touch from Kehrer, but I don't think Dawson should have put Kehrer in that position. It was wet, it was slidey, and it skidded on, and it was a poor touch from Kehrer, but I don't think he should have been put in that position, to be honest with you. Yes, he'll be put down as at fault for the goal, but Dawson didn't do him any favours there at all. So it was a combined defensive error. Dawson didn't manage to get back. Zaha was already through, and he puts it into the back of the net. They scored at the perfect time For an away point of view, they scored in the 2 perfect times in an away game. They scored just before half time and they scored just before the end. That is a perfect away performance. And that's what Palace did. They would have liked a couple of more because they possibly could have got a couple of more goals, but they didn't. And I think they'll be extremely happy with what they got out of it. And we go into half time and I was like, this is not good. If we would have went in a 1-0 up at half time, it would have kind of, sugar-coated a really poor first half again, but we didn't, and we went in 1 apiece, and we needed a reaction coming out from that second half, and we didn't get it. I didn't think we were poor, we were negative, we didn't really want to go forward. We didn't press, which I found a big issue. And I was sitting there talking to Anton, and we were just both like, what is going on? We don't look like we want to get near the ball. We were giving them so much time and space on the ball. Away from home, we were sitting back and letting them have 3 or 4 seconds on the ball before we even got anywhere near them. We were playing too narrow defensively, which meant the crossfield ball over the top gave the wingers a bit more time. And even in midfield as well, and defenders and everything, we were just giving them way too much time on the ball. And when you give good players too much time on the ball, they're going to punish you. They didn't as much as they could have done today, but in the end, they scored 2 goals and they punished us because they picked up 3 points and they take that back to South London, And it's just like, a couple of times Paqueta went through, or whoever went through and pressed and put them under pressure. I'm like, there we go, press and you cause problems, but we just didn't do it often enough. And again, I don't know what we need to do here. We've all got plenty of questions, and I don't know who's answering these questions. I don't know where the answers are coming from, quite frankly. It's really, really worrying. It's beyond worrying, as we currently sit 15th or 16th in the Premier League table. We all said we want at least 4 points from these 2 Premier League games. Well, we're definitely not getting that now, so next week is a must win. And I'll be, I don't think Moyes will get sacked, but if we don't win next week, then I think the board are going to be left with no other option. I think he's teetering over the edge right now, to be honest with you. I have lost my patience with him, to be honest with you. It was just so frustrating and so angering to see how poorly we play today. And to be fair, Moyes, he started the right players, most of the right players today, but just the tactics, and that, to tell you what, those substitutions completely killed the game. I could not understand them. As soon as I saw them, I went, what is he doing? Souček for Downs, fair enough, but Downs should have started from the start. But yeah, I got it. I was glad that Souček was coming off and Downs was coming on. And I saw Lanzini getting ready, and I said, I bet he takes off Benrahma and not Paqueta. And what does he do? 2 minutes later, the ball goes up, and the camera from the stream I was watching on actually was panning to Benrahma because I think he had a chance. And you saw the look on his face, and I don't flipping blame him. He was absolutely livid. And as were 60,000 people, so they turned against David Moyes very loudly by singing Syed Benrahma's name as he was substituted off. Why, oh why, oh why he didn't take Paqueta off is beyond me. I didn't think Paqueta was anything special. The man that caused problems when he got the ball kept us in the game by scoring at that point, and the only one offering some half decent ability when he got the ball, they take him off. I must think that David Moyes is watching a completely different game to the rest of us. And then for him to come out in the post-match interview and said, yes, he scored a goal, but I don't really think he offered too much else. What did Bowen offer? What did Paqueta offer? Very minimal. So why on earth Benrahma was taken off was absolutely beyond me. I think we killed the game there because we know what Lanzini is going to bring to the table. Not much. And I think it just killed it there, and it was really frustrating. I think it sums it up at the end, exactly the same as 5 years ago at Selhurst Park. We get the ball, Antonio bursts through. I'm thinking, right, I said quality, give us quality. He waits too long, he dawdles, and he just balloons it straight into the hands of Gaeta. They get up the other end and they score a deflected goal. It's exactly the same. We do not learn. We've got no management of football, and that's the most Mikel Antonio thing I've ever seen. It's absolutely appalling that a Premier League player does that with a minute to go, knowing they've got a lot of pace up there. All you had to do was just before that, pass it across. It was a simple ball into the box, and somehow he still managed to find the keeper. Oh, it was honestly, I could not believe what I was watching. And yes, Moyes isn't to blame for that. The players have got to take some stick here as well, because this isn't all on David Moyes. Yes, David Moyes is currently teetering over the edge, and I think I've lost my patience with him. But the players have got to take some criticism here as well, because that was out of Moyes' hands at the end, what Antonio did, and that deflection and it going in. But what wasn't out of his hands is his tactics, is obviously telling the players to sit back and invite the pressure on and invite, as if every game is Old Trafford or, you know, Anfield, Liverpool, Man United away. You know, we were at home to Crystal Palace and we're playing really, really negative football. I just can't understand it. I honestly cannot understand why Moyes thinks that it's good to play such negative football at home to a side like Palace. So yeah, I've got some dangerous players. They're a decent side on their day, but they're a mid-table inconsistent side, and we're worse than that now. You know, we're worse than a mid-table inconsistent side this season. We've just been really, really poor, and pretty much every player apart from Ben Rama can just say I've or was really poor today. You know, I can't think of another player that was really good today. It was just really, really poor. Probably the worst performance of the season. There's been plenty of them. Brighton, one of them, and you know, there's plenty more that have been really, really poor. And I don't know. I don't know where the answers are coming from. I don't think the board will sack him because of the whole Europe thing. I don't think they'll sack him yet. But if we lose next week, I don't think they're going to be left with any other option. And many of the fans have switched today. You just look at Twitter and the complete meltdown, and pretty much every other tweet is saying Moyes out at the moment. The fan base is toxic. The ground was toxic, and something's got to change. And it's got to change quickly, because I'm fed up week in, week out of seeing us play negative, boring football, not going forward, not pressing, not playing to our ability, and end up losing week in, week out. Yes, we've been unlucky in some games, but there's no excuse for that today, because we weren't unlucky at all. You know, you could talk about the penalty all you like. It was never a penalty. Never in a million years was that a penalty. I don't think he barely touched Antonio. I think Antonio should have been booked for diving, to be honest with you. It was just never a penalty, in my opinion. So, you know, VAR can't bail us out today. And quite frankly, we deserve to lose. The better side won. And I don't know where this goes now going forward, because we've got all these players here and the ability is just not there. I've got no confidence going into next Saturday, and I very rarely say that, and I don't think I've said that for a long time as a West Ham fan. I've got no confidence going into our next game, because I'm a confident, young, optimistic West Ham fan. I put a smile on, and you try and see the positive in things, but there's just no positive today. There really isn't, and I don't know. I'm baffled by the way we played. I'm baffled by the tactics. I'm baffled with what happened, and we didn't deserve a point today. And in the end, we didn't get it. So hey ho, fair play to Crystal Palace. They pick up the 3 points, and we sit 15th or 16th in the Premier League table. I'm done. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to West Ham Unofficial. I've been a Moyes supporter, but I would not be angry if he gets sacked tonight. I wouldn't be particularly bothered. I think it would be the right decision if Moyes goes tonight, because we can't continue playing like that, and we played like it for 13 games now, so it's not like it's just been a one-off. It's been building up from the start of last season. Somebody put a stat on Twitter earlier. I think give or take a couple of games, or I think since that Lyon game or something along these lines, we've played 19 Premier League games and we've won 5 of them. That's relegation form. That's a sackable offence, I'm afraid. We've just been poor, and Moyes has not been able to come up with the answers. And does that mean his time's up? I don't know. Put that in the comment section down below. What's your thoughts on that shambolic performance at London Stadium today? That's it from me. Come on, you irons. We'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial. Cheers, guys, and bye-bye.